Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the Pole Position YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be talking about the winners and the losers of round 2 of the 2021 F1 season, which took place in Imola, and boy was it a fantastic result. Yeah, absolutely action-packed, a chaotic second race of the 2021 season, which saw Max Verstappen take victory. Lewis Hamilton came in second place, but it looked like halfway through the race he wouldn't even finish the race at all. So yeah, great result for Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris got his first podium of the season as well to put McLaren in that third spot. So we're going to talk about the winners and the losers of the second race of the season. So without further ado, let's get into it. And of course, the first winner is the winner, Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Yeah, great result by Max. Struggled in qualifying, made a mistake on his last Q3 lap, which saw him finish third in terms of the qualifying result. Was absolutely gutted that he couldn't get pole position or couldn't get second place. He felt the car was better than what he did to get it into P3. And just did an absolutely great first launch of the car when the race took place. Managed to pass Lewis Hamilton and sort of sailed off into the distance. We obviously had red flags, safety cars came out, so I think it wasn't smooth sailing for Max Verstappen during that period. But I think for the majority of the race he looked pretty comfortable in the lead, and just sort of took it home really. It's the first race win at Imola for Honda since 1991, which was Ayrton Senna at McLaren. So a great result for Honda, not just for Max Verstappen. But yeah, a really good result for Max. He needed to get that win. Obviously Lewis Hamilton got the first race win in Bahrain, and I think Verstappen felt like they deserved more from that result, and obviously he got that this time round. But he did get the race win, but Lewis Hamilton got the fastest lap in the end. So by finishing second place and getting that fastest lap, Lewis Hamilton leading the Drivers' Championship by just 1 point. So I know we're only 2 races in, but the battle for Verstappen and Hamilton is still on, and only 1 point. I know we've got loads of races to go, so round 2 it doesn't really matter where the standings are at this time, but just to have it as 1 point is great so far. So yeah, let's hope it continues. But yeah, great result for Max Verstappen. His teammate, however, is in the loser section of this, but we won't go on to that just yet. We'll go on to the next winner. And yet the next winner on the list is Lewis Hamilton. Now, like I said, got pole position, which I think was a bit of a surprise, because I think everyone still believed that Red Bull would be that one, either Sergio Perez or Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen was the more likely one, but Perez was second in qualifying, with Verstappen third, as I mentioned. Yeah, he managed. Lewis Hamilton did get beaten, like I said, on the first corner of the race taking place, with Max Verstappen getting past him. But it was halfway through the race where he had a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a wobble trying to overtake George Russell. Went on to the wet part of the track. I haven't even mentioned it was mixed conditions, but yeah, went on to the wet part of the circuit and skidded off into the gravel, hit the wall, and saw his front wing come off. But he didn't hit the wall that badly that the rest of the car was damaged, just the front wing. He managed to reverse it back onto the circuit, get back out. There was then an incident between George Russell and Valtteri Bottas, which saw a red flag come out. But before that, he was able to go back in, change the front wing, and yeah, I think he came back out from that period around 9th position. Managed to get past everybody in front of him. Did some great battling between Sainz. Sainz was a real handful to let Lewis Hamilton by. Norris again didn't really want to let Lewis Hamilton by, wanted that second place, but the 7-time world champion did get past and still managed to finish in second place. So it looked like he wasn't even going to finish the second race of the season, but managed to finish in second place, and like I said, gave him got that fastest lap, which sees him now 1 point ahead in the Drivers' Championship standings. The next one is Lando Norris. Did get driver of the day, and I think it was absolutely well deserved. Was so unlucky maybe to not be higher up in qualifying, but had his last lap in Q3 deleted for track limits, so I was a little bit disappointed yesterday. Obviously saw them comments from Lewis Hamilton as well, which was posted on his feed the night before, and then saw them two battling out the next day was great to see. Obviously Lewis said it was great to see McLaren back up in the fight as well, and yeah, Lando Norris did an absolutely terrific job, looked better than his teammate. I know Daniel Ricciardo is only just betting himself into the team, but Norris looked the stronger and the faster driver, and yeah, gave it absolutely everything, and it was really well deserved. It's only the first race that two British drivers have been on the podium since China 2012, with Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton at that time, so it's good to see two Brits up on the podium as well. And yeah, absolutely fantastic result from Lando Norris, and his third in the driver standings at the minute. So yeah, that McLaren battle for this year, you know, obviously they were third in the constructor standings last year, is looking even better this year. They have got competitiveness from Ferrari, who we're going to mention next, but yeah, absolutely fantastic result for the team really. Daniel Ricciardo finishing in 6th, so again solid points for the team, but yeah, absolutely great result from Lando Norris, and just looks like he's took that extra step going into 2021. Could he be the #1 driver for McLaren? I think at this moment in time he is. And yet the final point in terms of the actual winners of the Imola Grand Prix are Ferrari. Absolutely great result. It was a point when Charles Leclerc was in 2nd place, and I think Carlos Sainz was in 4th, and they looked really good. The pace is back. They looked quick, obviously not to the extent of Red Bull and Mercedes, but I think there is a huge McLaren-Ferrari battle that we're going to see in the 2021 season. It's looking really good between them two. So yeah, it's looking good for them. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc looking good, 4th and 5th, and Ferrari just look competitive again. Yeah, and then quickly we are going to go on to the losers section. The main ones I think I'm just going to skim through in terms of the teams. Alpine didn't look that great. Great result from Esteban Ocon to actually get that final point in 10th position, but neither of them looked really good. Fernando Alonso struggled this race as well in terms of qualifying, and for the majority of the race they were hanging around 14th, 15th position, which was not great. And considering some of the main bosses for Renault were there this weekend, not great result for Alpine, or Alpine, however you want to say the name. AlphaTauri again and Aston Martin, I said going into this weekend they needed to show a bit more because they were in the underperforming section last time around, and again I think they're still there. Pierre Gasly did get some points last. Stroll got some points as well, but yeah, not enough. And Sebastian Vettel again struggled, had a gearbox issue, and both Aston Martins were struggling with their brakes before the race started as well, so it wasn't great. We obviously know they're going into that FIA appealing process and want to understand in terms of the regulation changes for this year. But yeah, again Aston Martin looked like they struggled really. Lance Stroll did a fantastic job to get the points he did, same again with Pierre Gasly, but yeah, AlphaTauri and Aston Martin don't look to be in that midfield hunt that we thought they were going to be alongside McLaren and Ferrari. So again, they're in the underperforming section. Williams, both drivers looked really strong going into qualifying, but both did not finish in terms of the race on Sunday. George Russell and, like I said, Valtteri Bottas had a big accident, which caused a red flag suspended session for around half an hour just while they cleared all the debris. I would put the blame on 50-50 really. I think obviously Bottas made the move over to the right. George Russell had to touch onto the grass a little bit, and at the speeds they were going at, obviously George Russell wasn't happy with that move. But I think at that point George Russell was still a little bit behind Bottas. He hit the grass, then hit Bottas, and it was just, yeah, they crashed into the barrier. George Russell obviously wasn't very happy when he came out of the car, but I think ultimately it was a 50-50 in terms of who was to blame. I think it was interesting that the 2 out of the 3 drivers that are out of contract, who drives technically for Mercedes, did have an accident today. So yeah, it will be interesting. Toto Wolff's got his hands full for sure. So yeah, in terms of that, Bottas was in the loser section of course because he didn't finish the race, and he looked like he'd struggled. Qualified 8th, just looked like he had another mare of a weekend. And I put Sergio Perez in the loser section as well. Both drivers, in terms of Bottas and Perez, as the number 2 drivers, really didn't get any points for their constructors teams, so neither of them will be very happy. It's a missed opportunity for both Red Bull and Mercedes that neither of their second drivers got any points. Perez did finish the race, but had a bit of an accident which got seen him go into the gravel, lost the grip in terms of, I think he went onto the wet part of the circuit, just lost the car, went into the gravel, and obviously by the time he got out again he was back in 14th. I think he recovered to 12th, but of course didn't get any points from that. So yeah, they are the losers of the Imola Grand Prix. So yeah, they are my winners and losers of round 2 at the Imola circuit. Next up is the Portimao in Portugal. That's in a couple of weeks' time, and I think it's a double header. We then go on to Spain in Barcelona for a double header. So yeah, interesting that the action was fantastic in the Imola Grand Prix. I would say it was a good 9 out of 10. A lot of action, chaotic, red flag, safety cars. It was an absolutely fantastic race, and it was great to do it on the live stream with the Let's Talk Sport YouTube channel as well, so check them out for any race streams we're going to do in the future as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, it really does mean a lot. Let me know who you think were the winners and the losers of the Imola Grand Prix, and yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, see you soon.